Hey everyone, Tuesday, April 9th. All right, a little while ago we got the API oil inventories. I sent out an email to my subscribers. Just briefly going over that, I'll tell you that there was a very large gasoline draw, 7 million barrels. That was the largest weekly draw in gasoline that we have seen since September 2017. We are down significantly now year over year in gasoline inventories. I think that was something like the 8th consecutive weekly draw in gasoline inventories. So we're running really tight on gasoline. We're running really tight on distillate. We saw, however, I believe it was the 4th weekly increase in crude oil inventories, and I would not be surprised if the zombies sell crude based on that inventory build, because that's what they do, right? They look at one number and they think they're smart. Maybe the ones who think they're really smart look at first of all, I don't even think they look at the API, but if they do, the ones who think they're really smart might look at the gasoline, and I think this will be tricky for them because they're going to say, hey, crude oil drew down by 4 million barrels. I'm sorry, crude oil built by $4 million, gasoline drew by 7.1 million. What do I do? Well, I tell everybody what to do in my email. If you want to get a copy of that email, go to my website, pitbulleconomics.com, and sign up for a 30-day free trial of MMT Trader, or sign up for a 30-day free trial of Zombie Trading, my daily Forex signal service. We know how the zombies are going to behave. We front run the zombies. We take their money and we get out before they die. As far as the stock market is concerned, well, let's face it, I've been 100% correct. Not just on the stock market, but on the economy and the direction of the economy. First quarter GDP has been upgraded again to now 2.1%. You know, just last month they were saying that first quarter GDP was going to be 0.2%. All right? And I said, no, that's not going to happen. We're going to have very decent growth, at least growth equivalent to fourth quarter of last year. Everybody was saying recession is coming, this and that, all the big shots. All the big shots, all of Wall Street, all of you who were posting up a lot of your snide comments in December when the market was going down, and I was telling everybody that was a fantastic buying opportunity, which it was. And then again in March, when all of you and everybody else, all the big shots and the very serious people were talking about the inverted yield curve and, oh, recession is coming, I said no. And everybody's paying too much attention to that inversion of the yield curve, and I explained why that was happening. Who was right? I was right. I have to say, even some of the MMT big shots got it wrong. I was in fact the only MMT guy, the only MMT person who was correctly bullish on all of this, because I know what to look at, and my background, which is unique, which combines the MMT understanding as an economist and my trading background. Don't forget, 40 years as a trader, a member of 4 exchanges. I traded on 4 floors, the NYMEX, the COMEX, the CME, and the New York Futures Exchange, not to mention trading for a major hedge fund and international bank. So combining that experience with the MMT knowledge, no other person has that out there. No other MMT, they're all academics, all right? Maybe with the exception of one, who I will not name, but he's been bearish for 4 years and completely wrong, so he's one of the gods of MMT. He's been bearish for 4 years and completely wrong. So we have a situation now which is very important, because this is April, which means this is tax month. April 15th, of course, taxes are due. You got to file your taxes. Now, every year, there are seasonalities here because the government collects record amounts, and this year for sure they will collect record amounts of taxes. That's going to drain reserves in the banking system. That's going to have an impact on not just banks and their asset accumulation or lack thereof, and the impact on the markets. Now, this is a very, very tradable phenomenon. If you understand this, and my research is at the forefront in really educating people and understanding the impact of these reserve balance fluctuations and how it affects the markets. If you understand this, this is a very tradable phenomenon. I mean, you could literally sit back and do nothing for 11 months, and if you know what is going to happen now, you can make your entire year right now. But you have to know what's going to happen. Now, you may know that April is a big tax month, but do you know what to do with that information? That's the thing. You have to know what to do with that information. So, if you want to find out, again, go to my website, pitbulleconomics.com, and sign up for a 30-day free trial of MMT Trader. It's only going to keep going up in price, folks. I mean, when are you going to understand this? I'm the only guy who got this right. In November and December, when everybody was crying and screaming and selling out at the bottom of the correction of the stock market, we were all there. My people were all there with a bushel basket collecting all these cheap stocks when all of you were selling. And the same thing in February, March, when everybody was screaming and crying and running for the hills because of the inverted yield curve and talking about how that was going to create a recession. We were all there with a bushel basket collecting cheap stocks when everybody was selling. Nobody else had that right. Nobody else had that right. Not even the MMT gods. I'm the only MMT god who got it right. So it's a function of not just understanding, because there are a lot of people who understand MMT, who understand the concepts and the theory of MMT. But it's that unique combination of understanding the concepts of MMT. And let me say something as well. Most of the MMT gods, the people out there, the so-called founders, the top theoreticians and academics, they talk about MMT with respect to secular balances, the government's balance and the non-government's balance, etc. But they leave out the banking system. And for the ones who do include the banking system, it is a very kind of, how should I say, cursory or unsophisticated understanding. They lack, I think, some of the regulatory constraints that affect the interrelationship between, let's say, MMT described activities and the impact on the banking system. And all of this is very, very fundamental to what is going to happen to the economy. I have that. It's unique what I do. Ask anyone who has my report. In the report every week, it's not only an analysis of fiscal flows, but also of bank credit and the interrelationship between those things that is fundamental. If the fiscal situation, or if the fiscal flow results in 1/3 of the monetary base, there's 2/3 that is coming from bank credit. It's the largest portion. And you have to know how those two things interrelate. Otherwise, you're going to make bets based on one thing, which can be undermined, or you can be leaving out a very significant part of the puzzle. I'm the only one who does that. The only one who does that. I guarantee you. You will not see or hear another MMT person talk about that interrelationship between bank credit and the fiscal picture. And if they do, I will also guarantee you that they don't have a full understanding of the relationships there. It's true. I've been involved in MMT for 18 years. I know the top gods. They don't talk about it, and if they do, I have to tell you, they get a lot of it wrong. So there you have it. If you want to educate yourself, and folks, if you say things like, I've had people with me and they leave and they say, you know, this is above my head, or I cannot use this information, which it has to make me laugh, because if you say it's above my head, that's really another way of saying I do not want to educate myself. I want to stay uninformed. I want to stay in the dark. I want to continue guessing along with the zombie crowd. That's exactly what you're saying. You might think it doesn't sound that way when you phrase it a little bit different, but when you strip away the, hey, you know something, this is over my head, you're basically saying I want to remain stupid. And when you're saying I can't use this information, well, what information can you use? Information that results in no success in what you are doing? Information that is functionally useless? Information that everybody else has, which is completely, I would say, diluted or lacking in effectiveness? If you were performing a mechanical task and you needed a tool to successfully complete that mechanical task, and I said, I have a tool, and you said, I don't have any use for that tool. Yet without the tool, you cannot complete the mechanical task. That is exactly what you are saying. So think about it, folks. Anyway, have a great rest of the day, evening, whatever. See you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.